Well, thank you for coming this morning. My name is Greg Moore. I'm the Executive Director at Homeward Bound and want to welcome you this morning and thank you for coming. This day's been a long time arriving, but we're delighted that you're all here because you're all part of making this happen. So give yourselves a hand. Thank you for coming. So today we're gathered to celebrate, as you can see, the groundbreaking for the Pathways Family Shelter. Bill and the board began working on this project a number of years ago, what, 6 years ago now or more? Longer than that. And the first phase was the building behind us is the Pathways Village Apartments. That's 40 units of permanent supportive housing that opened in 2016. And it's been 100% occupied since the day it opened. And we have a waiting list for it. So that gives you an idea of the need in the community for that kind of facility. The second phase is the Pathways Family Shelter, which we're talking about now. Now, the question might be in your mind, why is that important? Let me give you a little statistic here. Just this year, since the beginning of our fiscal year in October 1st, we've experienced a 33% increase in bed nights and utilization at the existing shelter on North Avenue. That's a third. Guys, that's a huge number. And the year before, it was almost 20%. So the rate of utilization and need for services continues to increase and our capacity has not. That's why this building is so important. We're fortunate in Grand Junction that we have numerous organizations. Many of you represent those organizations here today that work cooperatively to address the issue of homelessness and those experiencing homelessness in our community. And like any city in the country, it's a visible and tangible issue, and we have people on all sides of the opinion, if you will. So we recognize the need for this. At Homeward Bound, we have four initiatives that we're working on that are key, that are part of our effort to address this issue. The first is providing emergency shelter and food security. That's where that 33% increase is coming from. People who come to the shelter get a bed to stay for the night, a place to take a shower and clean up, and a dinner and a breakfast. Just to give you an idea, this year, we have, since the beginning of October, provided 3,687 bed nights per month. That's an average of 123 per day. That gives you an idea of the demand. We've served 7,938 meals per month. That's an average of 265 per day. Those are staggering numbers. 265 meals a day. Now, the good news is the majority of the food is donated either through food recovery efforts or the food bank or individual donations. We are so grateful for the support from the community because we couldn't do this without that. The second thing we're doing is we're preparing to launch a day shelter program. So instead of us just turning people and putting them on the street, they'll have a place to be on the property during the day with some shelter canopy, and they'll have access to restrooms. And the most important part of that is that it gives us the opportunity to interact with those people and find out what their needs are, how we can help them. Can we get them connected with services? Can we get them started on a search for housing? Maybe they have need for some kind of employment. So there are all kinds of things that we can then surround people with and give them the opportunity to do another one of our things, which is to move towards self-sufficiency. We're all about promoting self-sufficiency, getting people into permanent housing and stable in their life, surrounding them with services so that they can move ahead and resume the life that most would like to have of stability and sanity. The last part of this is, and this is something that's really important to us about this facility, is promoting wellness and healthy lifestyles. In this new building, we'll have a 4-bed family health center that will allow us to provide some services that currently we struggle to do in the existing shelter in terms of people getting wellness. I'd like to tell you just a short story here to give you an idea why this is important. The names have been changed to protect the innocent, so to speak, but I think you'll get the idea. Ed's been homeless for years. He would show up at the emergency room an average of once or twice a day and was repeatedly cited for trespassing and public intoxication. As we began to move toward a low barrier, welcoming environment for homeless individuals, including relaxed sobriety requirements, Ed began appearing at our doors. Now, this person had been chronically homeless for a number of years. Initially, he was too intoxicated to stay, but we kept encouraging, giving him meals and blankets, saying, you know, if you can get here and get your intoxication levels down, you can stay. Well, within several months, the level dropped to where he was able to stay with us. By November, he was able to stay overnight every night for the month and another 46 nights in December and January. So that's 76 nights, I think, out of the 92 that were possible. So what's the impact of that? Historically, he would have visited the emergency room 138 times in 92 days. That's a societal cost of over $400,000 in 90 days. While sheltered, he only made 27 visits. That's a huge reduction in service utilization. And that, if you moved it out to a year, is a little over $1 million annually that can be reallocated other places. That's the kind of impact that the services that are being provided in this community can have. And we didn't accomplish that alone. There are lots of other organizations that were involved in producing that. But the impact can be tremendous. Along with that, there were a number of trespassing citations we were able to work with him on, and we're able to get him to do some community service right in the shelter to take care of that. So that's the kind of impact that we're talking about that each and every one of you gathered here today has a part in producing. The last part of this is an ancillary benefit to the construction of this building is that we'll be able to open the North Avenue shelter to exclusively serve men. Now that means overall we're doubling the overnight bed capacity in the community for people experiencing homelessness. That's a huge leap forward. Along with these other things, we feel that we are contributing our part to address the homeless issues in this community. Here in Grand Junction, we're blessed with an incredible spirit of cooperation and partnerships working together. The City of Grand Junction, law enforcement, first responders, hospitals, the Workforce Center, the Mesa County Department of Health, and numerous social service agencies and providers, Catholic Outreach, the Joseph Center, Grand Valley Peace and Justice, Salvation Army, and a long list of others that I could name. Along with that, we have generous government agencies and private foundations, many of them represented here today, businesses, churches, and individuals who give of their time and talent and financial resources to ensure the continued availability of services and the ability to do things like we're celebrating here today. OZ Architects and Shaw Construction are joining us to bring the project alive from the drawing board to completion. And we're fortunate to have such dedicated, caring, skilled, and competent partners to do this. So I want to thank all of you for your support, your contributions, and most of all, your love and care for those who so desperately need it. Every day, because of you, lives are changed, and we are grateful beyond measure. In closing, I want to thank the Board of Directors. If you're on the Board of Directors, could you just raise your hand? I want to thank this group of people who serve so tirelessly and give of their time and energy to do this. It's a privilege to serve with you. With that, please welcome Bill Wade, our Board Chairman.
Thank you, Greg. And echoing Greg's welcome to all of you, we thank you for coming here to see us start what we hope will be. It's Grand Junction. It's windy in the spring. No, the shovels we stick in the ground today are the culmination of a process that started for me in the fall of 2013 when I joined the Board of Directors of Homeward Bound. And as my lovely wife would say, if I'd known then what I know now, I'm not sure exactly how it all would have turned out, but we've been extremely fortunate. It was not quite 4 years ago. It was actually 4 years ago, July 30th, that Mayor Phyllis Norris stood on this site with me and a bunch of other people when we broke ground for Pathways. From the very beginning, this process has been one of inclusion and one of changing the perception of the homeless people that we serve from people you just see on the street that you give a bed and a board to people that we can help give a hand to make them come back to society and be productive members. My board, the incredible staff we have now, our executive director, have all helped make this happen. There's nothing more important than the work we do, because these kinds of people and these kinds of needs will never go away. We have to continue to do whatever we can. And I'm incredibly grateful to all the funders that have helped us with this, who will continue to help us as we expand our services, to the City of Grand Junction for their participation in this program, to the State of Colorado, the Department of Local Affairs and the Department of Housing, to the Federal Home Loan Bank, all those people that have given us the wherewithal to get this started today. But as Sister Karen from Catholic Outreach said to me back when we were walking through a snowstorm in Durango about 5 years ago, she said, "Bill, don't think when we get this building started that that's the end. It's just the beginning." And she's absolutely right. So I thank you all for coming. We're grateful for your help. We look forward to your continued help as we move on down the road. And I think now would be an appropriate time to go stick a few shovels in the ground and let's get this project started. Thank you for coming.
We encourage you to be a part of this process. This is an exciting development, but it's really only just one step in the process of helping get and keep people off the streets in the Grand Valley. So for you to get involved, we encourage you to visit our website, homewardboundgv.org, or to give us a call at 970-256-9424 and learn how you can help.